Killer Queen, one of the lyrics says, "Guaranteed to blow your mind." Well, that is what this week's episode of Diamond is Unbreakable did. It blew my mind. Welcome to my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable episode 22, part 2 of Yoshikage Kira Just Wants to Live Quietly. Shit just got real, like holy crap. Now, let's talk about Killer Queen. We get to see it in action in this episode against Shigechi and Harvest. Which, by the way, Shigechi and Harvest did put up a good fight, but it was no match against Kira's stand Killer Queen. Now, Killer Queen has the ability to turn anything it touches into a bomb. And he activates the bomb by making this hand gesture, looking like he's pressing a button on a detonator. Anything that explodes or is caught with an explosion gets blown up from the inside out, which means that Kira can use the stand to leave no traces whatsoever of his victims because they'll get blown up from the inside. Disintegrate until there's nothing left. No wonder people are missing in the past 15 years in Morio. This is the perfect stand for Kira, really. And Shigechi did get caught in the explosion when Killer Queen turned a 100 yen coin into a bomb, but he still managed to survive, but not without some serious injuries, like his face getting fucked up and part of his brain was like fused within his flesh or something. I'm surprised that Shigechi was still alive, but he's barely holding on. And Kira was interrogating Shigechi if Josuke no Kiyasu were stand users and how many more people are there in Morio that have stands. But Shigechi was not going to sell them out. In fact, he tells Kira that they were looking for a murderer who killed Reimi, and he confirmed that Kira is the killer. Shigechi was still able to use his stand despite how hurt he was to block Kira's vision so that he can get away from him, using one of the harvest creatures to lure Kira away from him while he was hiding in this makeshift bush out of leaves. And while Kira was gone, this is where things start to get very sad. Shigechi used every ounce of his strength left to get into the building to find Josuke no Kiyasu, because he had to protect his parents, because earlier Kira threatened to kill his parents if he didn't tell him about the other stand users. And one of the things that made this sad is that he was using his stand to pull himself into the building, because apparently his middle school and Josuke's high school, which I believe they have the same name, are connected in the same building or something. But while he was trying to get to Josuke no Kiyasu, 3 girls noticed him, and one of the girls was actually concerned and thought to get the teacher for help because he was clearly hurt. But the other girl was like, "No, leave him be, he's kind of creepy, let's go." What the hell, man? I mean, this is like a 13, 14-year-old middle schooler. He's clearly hurt, he's struggling to get up, he's bleeding, his face got fucked up. Obviously you would get help, but no, they didn't. And the sad thing is, this actually happens in real life. It's awful, really, but Shigechi did manage to get to Josuke no Kiyasu's homeroom, but before he could open the door, Kira was right behind him. Shigechi saw his reflection. And the thing is, Kira had to know that Shigechi was getting to Josuke no Kiyasu. He had to know where those boys were, and he had to bide his time waiting for Shigechi to show up, because he used Killer Queen to turn the doorknob into the bomb, and Shigechi blows up, leaving no trace whatsoever. There was nothing left of him. Yeah. That is how Shigechi dies. But despite what happened to him, he did manage to use Harvest to rip out a button from his jacket, from Kira's jacket. And he was able to give it to Josuke no Kiyasu as his final message about Kira. And the final Harvest did break apart, but not without saying its catchphrase, "Mitsuketazo. I found it." Yeah, Shigechi, he died. I mean, I knew he was gonna die, but not in that way, because that was brutal. Like, goddamn. And Josuke no Kiyasu knew that something was off, so they tried to find Shigechi, but no luck whatsoever. We then cut to Reimi and Arnold in the ghost alleyway. I think that's what its official name is, I'm not sure. And they see Shigechi's soul moving on to the afterlife, passing on. But here's the thing, and this just made it even more sadder and more cruel for Shigechi. Shigechi's soul breaks apart like it's getting blown up. And he's screaming in pain. Like, that is awful. I mean, it's bad enough that he died blowing up, but even his soul gets to be in pain. He gets to blow up even when he's passing on to the afterlife. That's awful. I mean, with Iggy, Abdul, and Joseph back in part 3, when we saw their souls, I mean, they moved on peacefully, like they had no regrets, and even Joseph was smiling. Shigechi wasn't! He was in pain! Shigechi can be a greedy little prick. He can be annoying and irritating at times, but he does have a good side to him. He's just a naive and nice kid. I mean, he was determined to protect his parents, and because of him, everyone, all the stand users in Morio, managed to gather around and are now aware that Kira is out there. Kira is the stand user, and he's the one that killed Raimi. So it's like his final message, and it's because of him that all the stand users gathered together. It's strange, really, because now I'm thinking that this final message thing is like with Kakyoin back in part 3, but goddamn, like... Anyway, as I mentioned before, like, Shigechi can be irritating, but he does have a good side to him, and this episode I gained this whole new respect for him because he wasn't willing to rat out his friends. He was determined to get to Josuke and warn him about Kira. He wanted to protect his parents. Whether you hate the guy or not, you gotta admit that someone like Shigechi doesn't deserve that. Doesn't deserve to die like that, so rest in peace, Shigechi. You didn't last very long. I mean, you're around for 4 episodes, but you sure as hell didn't deserve to die like that. So, since Raimi confirmed to everyone that Shigechi is dead, Jotaro and Joseph are going to get involved since they now know that the killer is a stand user. So, what Jotaro is going to do is to investigate where the button originally came from, and that way they'll be able to pinpoint who Kira is, in a way. I mean, it sure as hell made more sense than finding out Dio was in Egypt because of a fly in a photo. We do see everyone there. Tonio, Aya, Yukako, Rohan, Toshikazu was there. For some reason, the Nijimura father was there, which I'm surprised he was able to get out in public, but hey, at least he get to go outside. I'm surprised nobody was freaked out over that. And for some reason, Tamami wasn't there. You know, the lock stand user. I was wondering, like, why isn't he there? But I guess because, you know, last time we saw him, he got hit in the head by a brick because of surface. So I guess he was still in the hospital. That hit to the head was very serious, I guess. So I don't know if we'll ever see Tamami again, but no. Okay, the group splits up and Kira happened to be there. He was just walking past Josuke. Jesus, the coincidences in this episode are just so surreal. And he is already locked on his next target. Anyway, we get a brief time skip. It's been 4 days after Shigechi's death. We see Koichi meeting up with Jotaro, and he's in his part 4 signature outfit, which is great because I like that outfit, seeing it in the video games, and I wanted to see it animated, and we got to see it, which is great. Jotaro noticed this shoe store, which happened to do tailoring as well on the side. And the thing is, Jotaro wasn't making any progress with the button because he was like going through all the tailors in Morio, but he didn't consider the fact that he should have went to the other stores that did tailoring on the side. So they do some investigation work and they ask the tailor about the button, and it turns out that this was the same store that Kira goes to get his clothes tailored. And the tailor confirms that Kira's jacket is with him, and all they have to do now is just get the name. And the tailor was going to tell them by reading off the label, but before he can do that, this beam of light came out of nowhere and just like shot down at the tailor's hand, blowing it up into pieces, like holy shit. And then there was something like coming out from behind him, and it was this mini tank with a cat skull on the front with a dagger on his forehead. And it turns out that this is Killer Queen's second ability. Yeah, Killer Queen has another ability. Now, to be fair, we've seen other stands before that have more than one ability. Darby the Player's Atem, for example. But goddamn, I was not expecting Killer Queen to make a secondary bomb, which is a mini tank. I mean, I thought at first that this was like a whole new kind of stand, but no, this is Kira's stand ability. And Kira was actually there in the shoe store. Another freaking coincidence! Like, this is ridiculous! Well, anyway, the Taylor shoe store owner guy looks behind him, and the mini tank goes inside his mouth, choking him and killing him. Yeah, another innocent person died. But then again, Kira had no choice. I mean, he had to make sure they didn't know his name, his identity. The mini tank starts ticking, and then when it stopped, the bomb explodes, like destroying the Taylor shoe owner guy's body. And Jotaro was shielding Koichi from the explosion, and that was where the episode ends. I need to see the next episode because, holy crap, this episode of Diamonds Unbreakable was awesome. This has got to be the best episode I've seen so far. I mean, I really did like the Red Hot Chili Pepper two-parter, but this was even better. Like, the thing is with Kira, he is ruthless and very scary, even scarier than Dio and Cars. And as much as I want him to get his comeuppance, I think that he's a pretty cool villain. He is definitely interesting, and Kira has definitely caught my interest, and I am looking forward to seeing more of him because he is quite something, that's for sure. Although I still want him to get beat up really badly. Maybe that'll happen in the next episode. But you know what, if things keep up like this, if we get to see more of Kira like this, then he'll become like my new favorite villain so far in JoJo. And Killer Queen was awesome in this episode. I really like seeing its ability. I was aware of it from the video games because I knew it had something to do with explosions, but I wasn't actually sure how the process worked. And seeing it in action was awesome. I was not expecting though for it to have a second ability, a secondary bomb, but apparently it does. Having explosive abilities is pretty basic. I mean, we've seen it before with other previous animes and mangas, Deidara from Naruto Shippuden, for example. But what's really cool is that despite how basic the ability is, it's really cool seeing how it's being used. So I gotta give kudos to Araki for that. I was also not expecting to get another confrontation with Kira, but this time with Jotaro and Koichi. Now, Jotaro I can understand since he is the previous main JoJo back in part 3, but Koichi? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Koichi, but I actually thought that it was gonna be Josuke, you know, since he's the new main character, you know, the new main JoJo, but no, it's gonna be Jotaro and Koichi, which, okay, well, maybe we'll get an eventual confrontation with Josuke and Kira soon, I'm not sure, but you know, since Jotaro's there, that means we might get a Star Platinum Aura beatdown for old time's sake, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that. I don't think Jotaro is going to defeat Kira, at least not so soon, because I still think we need the confrontation with Josuke as well. I just hope that Jotaro and Star Platinum do a much better job than his previous assistants, his previous fights, you know, that we've gotten in part 4, which, you know, come to think of it, he didn't actually get his, like, own individual fight in part 4, unless you count his, like, brief scuffle with Josuke. So I'm hoping that we'll see Jotaro use Star Platinum in combat, like, not, like, stopping time, but also, you know, punching it, you know, just for old time's sake, and hopefully, you know, he won't struggle so much, but, yeah. And as for Koichi, well, I don't know how the stand Echoes would fare off against a stand that can create bombs, but I'm curious as to see like what Echoes can do against Kira. Now, in terms of animation and artwork, this was a vast improvement compared to the previous episode. I mean, Killer Queen looked awesome. I mean, at the beginning scene, you just see Killer Queen with a cat skull with glowing red eyes. That was scary. Like, it's staring at death yourself. Like, holy crap, that was awesome. And I'm glad that the animation improved because last week the animation was off and I did admit that, but I did admit that it would get better in the next episode, and I also did admit that the Blu-rays would touch up on the details. So seeing Killer Queen animated like that in this episode was awesome. I'm really loving this new stand and I can't wait to see more of it. Music once again was spot on. It added the emotion when Shigechi was getting to Josuke no Kiyasu and when he died. That was so sad. The little guy did not deserve that, really. And voice acting once again was spot on. Toshiyuki Morikawa is Kira. Again, good job, man. Like, especially when he was like talking and interrogating Shigechi. That was very good. And of course, good job on Kappei Yamaguchi as Shigechi. He did a good job. I mean, the dude didn't last very long, you know? Compared to like the deaths we got in part 3 from the good side, like those characters we knew much longer and they lasted longer. The deaths that we've seen so far were characters that only lasted for like 4 episodes at the most, and yet they're still able to like tug the heartstrings to make us feel bad for them, you know? So I gotta give kudos to David's production, and hell, I'll give kudos to Araki for making this arc because this is very good. The next episode, we're getting another multi-parter, and it's called Heart Attack. Well, that's from the Crunchyroll subtitles, but it's actually called Sheer Heart Attack. And you know, considering that stand names and abilities are based off of songs, albums, and the singers themselves, I'm guessing that the mini tank bomb is called Sheer Heart Attack. Oh wait, there's actually something I do want to point out. I wasn't actually going to mention this, but I might as well now because this is kind of bugging me. In this episode, Aya did say that she didn't think that Kira would come to her place. And at the beginning of the episode, you know, after the opening, we do hear 2 schoolgirls talking about the Cinderella salon. In episode 20, the Cinderella episode, while Yukako was going into the Cinderella salon, we got to see Kira in a teaser, like, looking at the salon. Is something going to happen with Aya? And it's got something to do with Kira? Because there seems to be some sort of foreshadowing, some hints on what might happen later on, and I feel like something is going to happen with Aya, and she might be connected with Kira in some way. I don't know what, though, but yeah, I'm starting to get suspicious on that, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see on what happens in the next few episodes. So yeah, tell me guys, what did you think of this episode of Diamond is Unbreakable? Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel? How did you react when Shigechi died? And what did you think of Kira and Killer Queen seeing its stand ability like that? Killer Queen was awesome. Kira, he's freaking ruthless. I mean, since Jotaro's there, I'm keeping my fingers crossed on another Star Platinum Order beatdown because Kira definitely deserves it. But goddamn, Kira is starting to become like my new favorite villain, like seriously. Also, do you think Kira will get away from Jotaro and Koichi? Or do you think that he'll be defeated and they'll discover Kira's identity, his name at least? Let me know in the comment section down below, like the video if you like it, subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, episode 22. Shit just got real, and it's going to continue on from here on out. Like, holy crap, I can't wait for the next episode. Anyway, I'm LunaSpawn27, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.